Cameroon is a country many describe as endowed with immeasurable potentials ranging from its mineral resources, but also its human resources. Well, the is also a country that is affixed with lots of controversy as the young minds who are over 80% of the country population continue to linger with employability skills and seeking for jobs. Many of Cameroonians, especially the youths, always identify themselves at the backside of either governance or employment and causing so much trouble. This has caused many of them to leave the country. But then a few stay back and they are making great change. They have decided to turn their challenges to opportunities and they are making great strides. Many youths are engaging themselves in a very occupational way and are encouraging others with their works. On tonight's edition of Mountain Echoes, we shall be dwelling on those youths who are turning a new future for themselves through ICT, through good governance, through civic engagement and changing the narrative. How can they change the mindset of the many others who feel that there is just nothing that is left for them in this country? We would have that on Mountain Echoes. Hello there, good evening and thank you for joining us. I am Yannick Fonki and welcoming you to Mountain Echoes. It is a program designed to bring to you current affairs issues, and tonight we would be having one of such issues to talk about. We welcome you on board, and of course, like the program always demands, we have panelists present here to shape our thoughts and opinion on this very important issue. Now, for those who shall be driving our conversation tonight, we have with us Reverend Dr. Bay Christian. He is a very, very resourced mind, ranging from socio-political narratives and analysis, but also he is a counselor who has been very occupied with experience of counseling the youth or advising the youth towards the right career path development. Thank you very much for joining us, Doctor.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Yannick, for inviting me. A long time, and I'm very delighted to be on this platform today to talk especially about the youth. As they always said, the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. But we pray that the ideas and the vision of the youth are being implemented in the nearest future. They cannot just be a slogan, let it be a reality for the youth to carry their ideas and their vision for tomorrow. So we pray that this very particular broadcast will help us to navigate onto very good ideas and strong criticism to see how the youth can make themselves very relevant to the society.
Right. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation, Doctor. Also on the program tonight, we have a junior parliamentarian. One was gone to the glass house and saying things for himself, and have been able to also drive conversation by carrying the challenge and suggestions of the youth around his constituency, taking it to to the parliament. And of course, he's joining us tonight to share with us how youths are engaging in civic responsibility and also community development to shape the country forward. We're talking with the junior parliamentarian for Lebialem. Yes, he goes by the name Mr. Moteba Derek Keju, who is present here on the program. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Thank you, sir. It is a pleasure to be with you, and it's a pleasure for me to talk about the youth and their engagement to nation building.
Right.
As you rightfully said, we've been to the glass house in Yaoundé, and it's not only about going there. We've been able to see on how we can participate in nation building. Many others have been trying to quit the country, but we keep being here to see on how we can go about peace building through youth. It's something we really have to check on it. So here today we will see on how to engage more youths into nation building, to know on what we can do to take the country ahead, being patriotic and or the like.
Right. Thank you very much. And of course, we'll definitely be hearing a lot from you. We have two of them in the house, the other will be joining us in a moment. But then we also have in the house Madame Elminita. She is a community builder. She's a spoken word artist. She uses literature to console the heartbroken, the those who have lost hope. But most especially, she builds the community with different initiatives that she has. We're happy having her on board tonight. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm honored to be here with Trailblazers as you just introduced them. And I know that change begins now, and you are the one to bring that change. So let's put our minds together and let's bring change to our beloved nation.
Right. Thank you very much. So we're going to be savoring one of our very exquisite spoken word tonight that falls in line with our topic. So viewers, you don't want to move a muscle because we still have a lot in store for you. Like I told you, we're going to have another panelist who will join us in a moment. She's also a junior parliamentarian to drive this conversation. Now, there is no gainsaying that youth in Cameroon are frustrated because the opportunities that they so desire is not forthcoming. Many struggle to put food on their table. Many go to school, yet they can't find jobs. And upon this frustration, many have decided to flee the country, seeking refuge out of the country. But those who stay back are deciding to change the narrative. Many have ventured into the tech world, agriculture, and also civic engagement, and a lot is changing. How much can youths turn the challenges into opportunities for growth? That's our program tonight. Let's have this editorial. Let's have this editorial.
Cameroon youths today stand at the crossroad of immense challenges and boundless opportunities. The nation, endowed with vibrant and ambitious young minds, is grappling with a myriad of challenges, including an education system oriented towards creating dependent rather than independent minds, an employment sector that lacks adequate opportunities, and a political space dominated by an old generation who ironically comfort the youth as the leaders of tomorrow. Yet, in the face of these adversities, the youth are enjoying and reshaping the narrative of what it means to be a young Cameroonian in the 21st century. Education in Cameroon, though valued, is fraught with difficulties, overcrowded classrooms, and a curriculum that often does not align with the demands of modern job market. Graduates emerge with degrees but face an increasingly barren employment landscape, leaving many to accept underpaid jobs or join the swelling ranks of the unemployed. The frustration is palpable, yet it is met with remarkable ingenuity. Many youths have turned to entrepreneurship, leveraging digital technology, agribusiness, and vocational skills to create opportunities rather than waiting for elusive government jobs. The dire economic and political situation has pushed thousands of Cameroonians to embark on perilous journeys abroad in search of greener pastures. Many endure life-threatening conditions as they cross deserts, sea, and hostile foreign territories. Yet, against all odds, some make it. These individuals often transform their hardships into success stories, excelling in business, academia, and other fields. They become role models to those back home, proving that resilience and determination can turn adversity into triumph. Despite their success abroad, they have a deep connection to Cameroon, contributing through remittances, mentorships, and initiatives to foster development in their homeland. For decades now, Cameroonian youth have been told they are the leaders of tomorrow, yet this promise remains elusive in a political climate where governance is controlled by an aging elite unwilling to pass the baton. Frustration runs high as young voices advocating for change are often suppressed. Their aspirations stifled by a system opinion holders say is resistant to reforms. But even here, resilience shines through. Some courageous young leaders have refused to be silenced, forming political movements advocating for democratic participation and challenging the status quo through activism and civic engagement. They are rewriting the narratives, proving that youth do not have to wait indefinitely for a future, they can shape one today. While some choose to leave, others remain to fight within, carving parts of success in the most challenging conditions. These young visionaries leverage technology to launch startups, revolutionize agriculture, establish innovative educational programs, and actively engage in community development. Their efforts are providing livelihoods and inspiring others to believe in the possibility of a better Cameroon. They have embraced self-reliance, proving that with creativity and determination, prosperity is possible even within a system that often seems designed to work against them. Many youths have risen above their complaints and are making life better for themselves and the nation. Whether they succeed from abroad and inspire from a distance, or stay and fight for progress within the country, they are actively redefining the nation's trajectory. Their struggles are real, but so is their determination to succeed. The question is no longer whether the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but rather when they will seize the moment to lead today. The world is watching, and history unfolding, written by the hands of those who refuse to be defeated. Cameroon's youth are proving that resilience, innovation, and the courage to challenge the status quo will change the future that they deserve.
Right. So that is definitely this interesting landscape on just how the situation of the country is. Let us now have a spoken word on the Cameroonian youth and resilience done for us here by Madam Elminita.
You are the greatest pride, with no emotions to hide, having the national logo on your back with no controversy to rock. You are the son of the soil and won't let this land fall. You are watched keenly with interest, cause you deliver at your best. Oh how the youngsters to follow you and will complete the rest even for any test. You have made history in this nation and beyond. With a vision, you went on this mission and it's no fiction. An embodiment of national treasure and pride. In all you do, you build the nation's pillar deep. You are a hero in sight and the people's might, which ignites a legacy of courage. From the dawn of history to this present day, you have forged in every way through the fire of adversity and the rain of strife, with a heart full of strength, with honor and dignity. You represent the nation's flag anywhere you go. We hail you, cause you are the nation's pride. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What an interesting one there. You are the nation's pride. That's the designate for the youth. We're going to talk about that in the later part of this program. But let us shape an understanding on the situational analysis of the youth in the country. I want to start with you, Doctor, to tell us how do you see a Cameroonian youth? What appraisal can you make of the situation of the youth in this country?
Well, Mr. Fonke, if we look at our country today, I look at the landscape on which our youth they find themselves. Sometimes at one point it's very deplorable and it's very sad. When you compare it to other countries and see how, for example, like Burkina Faso, where from the level of the authority and the president, they are trying to make the youth to become so part of the system and to make the youth to enjoy even the resources and how they can help to build the nation by maximizing the resources and including the youth to make sure that they are part of the system. But in Cameroon here, it's a slogan. Because when we talk about including youth, we're not talking about just bringing youth, young guys either to the parliament or to government offices. We want to see them in front line of decision making. They have fresh brain, they have fresh thinking, they have vision that they can have sustained vision that it can last and take this country for years. But it's an illusion to us, because when you look all the front, the arms of our nation that really control this country, pay their offices and pay their capacity, no youth is found there. And we just bring youth, it's like, to me, I see like the youth are being used as propaganda machines in our country to help the old people to remain in place, which is very somehow how can I put it, really a disgrace to our own country. And you realize that even the level of corruption, the youth are not given the chance for them to see that, okay, let us fight this corruption and make our country, to become what we want the country to become. But instead, they are being pushed, either by low salary, or sometimes the ideology or the pressure that they give to them to work under. And you discover that it's not helping the youth, the space that they find themselves. And that's why sometimes you go, like, for example, like the army, you discover that most of the men on the road, they have this psychopath, this codependency mindset. They always feel that, even with the fact that they have a law. For example, I was having a problem down here in Boya, where my office, I paid the office, but my things are still there. And the woman went and put the lock there. So the person that called me was state council and was telling me that, no, this woman said that the things are still there, she come and remove the thing. But I just take a simple question. You are a young guy, this woman will put double lock in my door. It's against the law. He said, no, it was because. I said, no, tell her that it's against the law, she should remove it. So you got the point now. So you discover that the youth now, they are not moving, the environment is not helping them to emerge as people who have vision and want to change this country. Because for this country to change, everybody has to play his own part, in his own area. And look at it at a level of development and economics. You discover that most of them that even have money abroad, they want to come and invest here, the economic environmental space that are giving them is too harsh for them to emerge. Like, for example, I've seen one guy that came from the US. The guy have chunk of money. The guy want to make a company, but just the tariff and the taxes that they give to the guy have to abandon it after they have already invested much. So that is one of the problems that we are saying, that this country needs to bring policies. We don't talk with mouth. We don't just call on media and say, well, we want to see realistic policies and laws that sustain this youth to operate in this country and become and emerge. And have that policy must be a guide that can make the youth, a young man from a quarter, to come up and even be a minister and change this country. Because if we look at the whole thing, it is very confusing. Sometimes you take somebody who have studied geography and go and put in the place where it's mathematics. How can it function? And he's always there saying that I want to be the country, we have to be the country. Those are the things that we see. But if you look at the youth in this country today, they don't have policies, they don't have opportunity within that can make them to emerge. They're just like striving to see what they can do and on their own part. And sometimes some people feel that leaning with the government or helping the government or coming out with programs that the government will see it very important or vital to the government, it's not helping, in the sense that at the tail end, that program cannot be sustainable. Because sometimes some people are carrying programs just because they want to sustain themselves, they don't want to sustain the nation. And when that happens, you discover that it cannot be sustainable, because at the long end, it's helping but you, not the nation. For example, you can take a project to the parliamentarians or to the parliament, and they're flushing the project. Now that project, it have no technicians that can, or specialists that can help that project to succeed on the ground. And then now you carry the money resource and give to somebody, and the person just feel, okay, let me just have this, my own part and put in my pocket and see what I can do. And some people come there, like authority, come and hail the person that you are doing great. Have we asked that, are these experts, are they able to help make sure that this program moves smoothly and bring out the acquired result that it was necessary for it? For you look, for example, like research. We don't have research centers in Cameroon where we aspire young youth Look like what's happening in Burkina Faso, where they are looking at, they are doing that we call nuclear plants to bring electronic energies, and the other one that is there to bring electronic cars. All these are championed by youth, but now they have given them a level environment for them to operate. The government is behind them. From the level of their president and everything here, from their statement and all the resources that are put on ground, it is for them to emerge. And they are giving. That's why President Traore was telling the youth that don't go out of the country, don't move to any country or whatsoever. Remain here in Burkina Faso. We have responsibility to make sure that we give you all what you want in every field. And if we in Cameroon we can see that okay, the government have to put everything in place to make sure that these youths have the resources to make sure that whatever field that they are so talented, the skills, the talent that they have, let them emerge in that area. It will discover that Cameroon will be enjoying the fine brain that they have in this country,
right,
and come imagine.
Right. Okay, Doctor, we're going to have you again. I think that you've touched some very specific point, but you decided to look at the glass half empty. Let me bring in my honorable parliamentarian here to give us his own analysis of the situation of the youth in this country. What's the situation by your own appreciation of the youth in this country?
My appreciation of the youth situation in the country, I cannot term it too bad, no, that bad. We are in a situation where the head of state himself is struggling a lot to see that youths are being involved in issues. Not only developmental issues, but even political issues to an extent. Maybe before, youths were not that recognized in the nation, but presently the head of state has made it possible for various platforms to pop up. We have the Youth Parliament, we have the Cameroon National Youth Council, we have programs such as the Youth League. There are so many, even the Youth Diaspora Association, all of them are there. They are there to develop the nation, to develop the municipalities, the localities, and above all, to help to see how the nation can go ahead. For example, the Youth Parliament, the head of state had to understand that youth need to be involved in policy making. That is why I think the Youth Parliament was created, so that youth will go on board, they look at the laws, they dialogue and discuss them together with the senior parliamentarians. Okay, getting back to blaming the nation, I cannot fully blame the nation for them as a problem to the youth. I blame to an extent the educational system of the country. It doesn't favor youth to go on board to maybe learn what they can do. We need more of a technical something. Once you leave school, you should be able to do something and earn money, not only depending on the government. Moreover, we all understand we are in an era where we mostly ask what can you do and not what do you have. Okay. Considering that most youths go to the general education system, they end up having degrees in philosophy, language, and all the like. We should be able to encourage more youths to get to practical professions and practical educational careers such as agriculture, engineering, and all the like. Once youths engage in such, they will in turn develop the nation, not only hoping on the government, but hoping on themselves to provide solutions for problems that are already there, thereby having some money to build a nation. Again, these youths, I will still thank the head of state for always putting everything to see that youths go ahead. We have the 3-year special youth plan. It's there to help youths. There are so many programs that are there to help fund projects for the youth. But now I blame most of the youth because when they take this money, they try to look for visas and get out of the country. Forgetting to know that if they invest this money in the nation, it will employ many other youths. It will now open a broad space for other youths to have a taste of what the nation has been able to provide for that very nation. I am very sorry. The problem of the youth doesn't only end at the level of the state, but us, the youth, we are responsible. This is a matter of 50-50. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Derek, for giving us that. Of course, Derek is a junior parliamentarian. He was one of those, there's so many junior parliamentarians that were selected in the Southwest region, 25 of them who left for Yaoundé, and of course carried the aspirations of the young minds of Cameroon. We have another one who is present here. We have Honorable Kongo Medin. This is Kongo Rameline. Yes, Kongo Rameline. What constituency did you represent?
So I represented Upper Bayang.
Upper Bayang.
Manfi Central.
Yeah, okay. Upper Bayang, Manfi Central. That's in the Manu division.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So how does it feel like representing Manu in parliament? How did you feel?
It's an experience like I felt as part of Cameroon. I felt as, how can I put it? I felt as a daughter.
Right.
I felt as a daughter, yeah. And it's a very nice experience to see how the senior do things and how they develop things for the nation.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you pose any question in parliament?
No, I didn't pose any question in parliament. Actually, we were divided into committees.
All right.
Yeah, we were divided into 9 committees. I was in the Committee of Social and Women Affairs. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to be learning quite a lot with your experience there. You share your best experience there, but share with us your own thought about the situation of the youth in this country. What appreciation can you give with the conditions of the youth in this country?
Okay. My own appreciation, according to the youth, I cannot say they are bad, because we are in a generation where the youths are actually say the leader. They actually say the youths are the leaders of tomorrow, but I cannot put it in the sense that the youths are actually the leaders because we are not yet ready. They taught us at the parliament that we need to be ready to take off like a position or a duty. So I don't think the youths are ready, even though they are ready, and even though the government too tries in its own way to make them ready, like organizing training programs. I don't think they are really, can I even say it? I don't think they are really participating. I think some of them, when the government, like for example, the government can organize training programs, some will participate, some won't participate. They don't know that actually is for their own good.
Right.
And they don't know that it's training them to have some skills that they won't even acquire, even if they study further. Yeah. So I think that they are just there.
But the youth are just there. So you mean the youth are not ready? They are not combat ready to take up positions of responsibility in this country. Thank you very much, Honorable Kongo Rameline.
Yes, sir.
Right. We're going to hear more from you again. These two junior parliamentarians are going to shape for us our thoughts on civic engagement and governance, good governance. Of course, those are some of the very good traits they carried from the parliament when they visited this February. It's just this February, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this February, in the prelude to the 2025 and 50th edition of the 59th edition of the Cameroon Youth Day. Let me bring in you, Madame Elmine. You are a community developer. You work with youth. You promote tourism in a very great way. By your appreciation, are the youth in this country really engaged in giving this country a great face, or they are just a multitude of, I want to put it, those who are bringing the country down? in different ways. What's your own appreciation of the youth?
I would say that the youths, not all are that open-minded, but some are really serious. Yes, because with respect to what I do, spoken word artist and an event organizer, bringing together these artists or these youth who are artists to come portray or display their artistic features. We get to meet some who are not really having confidence in themselves. Why? Because some don't have an educational background. So I would like to give a strike in the sense that some of these youths have gone to school, they've gotten the degrees and the masters and all that, but now unemployment is a very big issue at hand, and so it disturbs some of them psychologically. And with that aspect of not having an employment, that you leave school, you want to go get a job, they tell you need 10 years experience to have that job, is really a pain to most of them. And so some of them are venturing into arts because they don't have something else to do, which is a problem. You don't get into a field because you don't have anything to do. You get into a field because you have passion for it. And I've come to understand that there are many youths out there that are venturing into the artistic field because they have no other choice, because the nation have not given them what they want, as they expect the nation to groom them in. And so they're venturing into this artistic feature because they have no other choice, and they're just doing, some are doing absolute rubbish, permit me say so. Are doing absolutely no message in line, because definitely you're doing this art and there has to be a message behind of everything you do. But some of them are sending out messages with no it doesn't empower, it doesn't uplift, it doesn't boost in any way, and so that's degrading for the country, because definitely you are portraying Cameroon at large, and international borders are seeing this, because artists tell bloggers to post their works and all that. So when the bloggers post it, international people get to see it. There's a lot of downgrading on Cameroon, that what is this, but it goes back to the stem of the country. What is the country doing to better these persons, these personalities? What is the country putting forth for them? Yes, there are training sessions that the country has given for them and all that. Some youths are dedicated to follow that training session. There's some youths are not, because they don't find it satisfactory enough to continue in that pacement. And so I would like to say that you should, no matter what we are facing, you can be the change, you can create your future, you can be whatever you want to be. So you just get that. It's about mindset, putting your mindset that you can do it. So that's what I can say.
Right. Doctor, the first thing, let me bring in Doctor. Thank you very much, Madam Ita, for this. Doctor, we want to look at it at different dimensions, different sectors. But first, by Cameroon's definition, a youth is any young Cameroonian between the age of 15 and 35. Can even go sometimes to 45, depending on who interprets that of a youth. Let's look at the educational sector, because there's been this growing conversation that the youth are not active in job creation or in governance and everything, because the education that is imparted on them do not meet them to be critical thinkers, that such that they can create jobs, but most especially they can actively participate in pushing and driving the community into higher height. What's your appreciation about Cameroon's educational system vis-a-vis shaping the youth?
Well, when you look at Cameroon educational system, I want to say it's a very poor educational system and an oppressive type of educational system, because if you look at let's push example the grammar section of Cameroon educational system, which carries at least 65 or 70% of the population attending that particular sector or that particular learning sector in Cameroon education. What are learning in grammar? What are they learning in grammar? You can't learn physics. What do you have there? So that's the problem. I can't remember. I used to tell people that when you go to school, you say I'm going to grammar school to go and learn physics. You are going to learn English. That's the truth. Because I can't remember one time I called one student who was in UB, and she was doing a master's. So I wanted to employ her in my office to do some work for me, since I'm doing professional counseling. And I told her what is her passion, and she looked at me and said, "Passion? Passion is what?" I said, "I don't have passion." I said, "I don't tell her what." I said, "A whole master's student that is doing masters in UB. You don't have a passion, you don't have a direction. That's the mess. It was because I believe that the foundation of education starts from the level of your secondary education. Now, before you want to say you are going to high school, you supposed to have a vision. The system and the government, the policy guide around support that vision. And that's why you see in America they take our fine brain. And when they go to America, the government don't tell you what to do, but they give you an enable environment where you, Mr. Funky, can excel. That's what they want. And they guide what you do. And then when they guide this, I just saw I'm very happy for you young guys, but let me not be like I'm so sarcastic with you, but I'm just saying the realistic. Bringing this young guy to parliament is just to scam them. That's the truth about it. Let me give you, Melamuki said something in the parliament. Carol Lebi said something in the parliament. Very important. Those are young, vibrant people who think and are reasoning well. Did the parliamentary accept what they are saying? And then what would this young man say? What would the young man say in the parliament that they carry Jibril and of they were accepted? If people in Melamuku who are people who have studied and they are still young, they have that vitality in them that they can stand and brainstorm and bring out good ideas and vision, and that can make our country to move forward. And they were able to implement. How can you talk about these young guys? So to me, it's just the political landscape that they want to bring these young guys into the system and to use them to campaign for them and tell them that we are youth for tomorrow and bring all these their kind of ideas. We want to say to them, this country have gone to age. I'm saying so because I've traveled and I've seen a lot of countries emerging. You know, in the world landscape of development, you discover that Africa is an emerging continent. And many countries are taking that one seriously, like for example, Burkina Faso, Mali, and the rest. Look at Mali, look at Niger, country behind us. It's based on vision. Young guys, look at Traore. Traore is a young man who is just 34 to 35 years. He's a youth. Look at how he's transforming Burkina Faso today. Look at even Theodore in I think they call it today the president of Canada. He's a young guy. He's making Canada to another long space. There are many young of them that I can count them like that. They are young president in the world. These are all people should stop scamming these young guys. Because my sister just said something here that I take it very seriously, that the youth are not prepared. Yes, the youth are not prepared because the psychology that have built you in this other country makes you not to see any space that you can feel yourself into. So in no matter what you are doing, you are not seeing a space that you can feel yourself into. If you want to go to research, there's no resources that can build you and help you to excel in that area. So the frustration takes you to another level. If you look, most of the teachers that are going to school that have to do secondary teacher, it's because they have a matricle. It's not that they have passion. It's not that they have vision. That's why you see the secondary education level or the education level is collapsing, because people are going there because of the magical number or because they want money. They're not going there because they have the passion, they have the love for that particular department, and they want to do their best. No. Even nursing, the other one section is nursing. People, because they don't have something to do, or if you're in the society, they say, let me go and do nursing. They are full and nursing. How many hospitals are there? Instead, there are all people who are on top there. When they are sick, they go out of the country. They don't want to give us good hospital in our own country. How will the youth emerge when you do not see the future behind around the glass? That is the problem that we have. We have to make this youth to already see that there are resources, there are programs that when you can engage in this program. There are civil programs that you can engage. There are resources that they can give you, and they want to see you to do this one. I see people who have that passion. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do, and they, with that passion and that love and the skill and talent that they have, they will push this country to another level. So we want to see that. We want them to already have that thought that I'm going to do this. This is what I love. This is what I want to do. I used to ask people in my counseling room, why are you coming for counseling? Or why do you want to do counseling? As some students, why do you want to do professional counseling? You must be able to know that in their own course you want to have healing or want to give people healing. So if you're not in that platform, it means you're already making an error. So that's the function. So we want this youth not to just be excited, or the government make them to be excited, bringing them together and telling them story that are not realistic. It's like this slogan that used to push them that youth are the leader of tomorrow. It is a slogan, as a scam to me, because how many youths are in the parliament? I don't talk about youth just being in the parliament. I talk about youth who can knock the hand on the table and take decision. You can't remember when Mr. Senator Mbalamukim extended the parliament. They were like laughing. It looks like a parliamentarian. They were laughing. Can I believe, so a young guy, can I believe, make a statement there? I was giving some statistics. How many of them implemented it? So bringing these young guys to me is a scam. Because those are people who are already there, parliamentarians from the constituencies, guys who already have political party, who can stand and tell you the mind of the youth and give you good statistics on how the country can be a vision that can push this youth to make this country to become something else to another level. But we cannot implement it. So bringing them to parliament is to just put them in small group and give them small money and give them maybe something to eat and drink, and then they come out to a constituency and then they can say what anybody can say. But we want to see something different. We want to see something different. Look what is happening. Said Funky. Let me give example. I like to give example because it's Africa. Burkina Faso. The president have make a degree. Nobody use like suit. We are wearing suit. You don't wear suit. You wear African wear. Why? Because you want you want to promote local industries, local factories. Those are a mindset. For imagine. So everybody has something to do. So when you're coming out of school, you know that there are already factories. There are industries. Your mindset is supported by the government.
Right.
If you want to make a farming agriculture, they have given you tools, and they have made a policy now in Burkina Faso that you don't that policy is on what? The policy, the first policy is that you cannot be chief except you are a civil servant. That is the first policy. You cannot be chief and you are a civil servant. The second policy they have done is that now in Burkina Faso that they don't want anybody to stay in any kind of house. They want to make low cost house so that any Burkina Faso Bay must have a good house. That's the secondly, the president have warned that no you to leave the country because the government have the sole responsibility to make sure they have all what they need. That is the third. The last policy is that what I'm telling you, there are many. They have calculated it, they have discovered gold. And Traore have made a statement that every Burkina Bay must enjoy for that natural resources because it's the country resources and every Burkina Bay must enjoy the resources. Those are things that drive the youth to with their passion to make sure we emerge. If the country can give us all the facility, what are we waiting for?
Right.
Going to America, going to Europe is to get technology. Bring the technology back into Cameroon. Try to make sure that technology works in us. So the European will just us and say, wow, why is African country? They're emerging. And that's how we can put this issue of boy with the European Union behind us.
Right. Okay. Hopefully we don't get any information that you relocated to Burkina Faso. The way you paint it as if everything is rosy there. Well, now let me come to you, Honorable. Let's look at the governance structure. Do you see the youth, the place of the youth in the governance structure and governing this country? Look at the situation of the country in terms of those who are holding positions. Why are youth not actively participating in governance by your own appreciation? You can have another thought. If you feel that they are actively participating, that's fine. But what do you make of it?
Okay, thank you. In my own appreciation, the youths are not fully participating because I will still relate back to the educational system. It has a lot to do in this issue. Though it's the same state that has to revise it. Again, I think with the issue of the youth not really being represented, it's an issue where if we have to compare to an extent, we should not overlook the country and other countries. Let's to an extent compare the today and yesterday. Not only looking at other countries. Every country is unique. But I'm not saying the government should not copy from other countries and make our country great. The country should be. But we should not only aim at criticizing the government, but thinking of how us as stakeholders. Doctor, you are there. I believe you stand a greater chance of promoting a good number of youths, leading them in their careers and maybe taking them into a better professional milieu where they can be able to fend for themselves. You stand a greater chance of even supporting them. That this is a start-up seed capital. Go into business. And I believe if we stop thinking and checking only of the government, we get to our various localities, the elites try to do something, it will be better. Then now, the elites should take it as their own challenge to mentor youth to get to positions. We are in a country where at times even getting information on the availability of certain positions, it's difficult. This is a challenge to the government by the youths. I, as a youth representative, I will not say what it's not true, but I judge from both sides. Why some of the youths are not ready, some are actively ready to make the change. But the government at certain levels doesn't give the actual space for youths. we call upon the government to look upon this. Why the youths on their own part should take that responsibility to go in for what it requires you to be where other people are. I always tell most of my youths that don't chase positions at times, no money at times. Work on yourself. Get that value. Those positions will chase you. I don't think, though the other day doctors were on the streets, but the state is thinking of that. The state took note of that. I'm very sure that they will look into it and they will try now. I believe most of those doctors are youths. Once they get to the street, the state must look into it and see on how they can incorporate them.
Right. Now, I want to find out from you. I want to use you as an example. First of all, would you qualify yourself as an established youth, considering that you've represented the aspirations of youth in parliament? Would you consider yourself as a youth who is making it well in this country?
I can't qualify myself as a youth fully making it well in this country.
In terms of the governance structure, I'm talking about.
Okay, talking on the governance structure, I can't qualify me as a youth that making it right. Because being a youth parliamentarian, it's not all about what youths have. It's not all about the level where youths have to earn. Youth should actively be at the level of all ministries, ending them at the level of the parliament, and to a certain extent, they might be influenced by certain things at certain times on taking certain types of decisions. So getting them actively participating into ministries will actually take us a long way. But though the government is trying, but it's not that really active. And I will call upon the government to look upon this and see on how these youths can participate well.
Right. Now, let me come to you, Honorable Kongo. Now, we understand there is this cliche that women don't actively participate in governance. Let's talk politics. But the worst case is that youths who are women shy away even greater. Yes, they would rather concern themselves in other things rather than politics or governance. In you, because I know one of the reasons why you were selected was that you were able to introduce women or your peers to be able to be in good governance, to carry out their civic responsibilities in good governance. So what are the things you've been able to learn in parliament that has helped to shape your mentality to be able to convince, persuade more women to actively participate? We are not speaking in line with Women's Day that is coming up. So how do you do it to bring in more women into governance?
Okay, thank you, sir. There's this perspective that women are not for politics, but I think it's not so, because in this our generation now, most people are fighting for gender equality. Everything should be equal, men and women both equal. And what I learned in parliament is that when I went to parliament, I wasn't expecting what I saw. I saw most women. The women are taking, the women are taking a bolder step, and it's quite encouraging, because most women come to shy away from politics, but that's not the case. I want to say that politics is not a game that women should involve in, but so we are fighting for gender equality. So what men can do, women can do too.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Well, but I'm still going to ask you that question. have you been able to talk with your fellow girls to be active in a governance like you, be able to do things? Do you carry out some initiatives in the community to be able to gather women together, to mobilize them? What are some been your community action that really caught the attention of those in the parliament to invite you to be part of it?
Okay. The one of the criterias of the selection into the parliament was that you must have been involved in something involving human rights, or how can I say, human rights, or entrepreneurship. I, for one, I was a peace advocate, a peacemaker.
I'm sure you're not just was. You are a peace advocate, right?
I'm a peace advocate.
Yes.
So, and I bring different people together. Women too are included inside. But I haven't organized anything in my community yet to bring women together. I haven't done that.
Right. But you have plans to do that.
Yeah, but I have plans to do that in the future.
Okay. Right. We'll talk more about it. Madam Emin, let me come to you on this conversation. Well, we want to tell viewers that you too can participate. We have a few people who are trying to call us. We are not going to receive calls, but you can send in text message if you have any message, any information that you want to share with us. We're definitely going to be receiving it, just to tell this caller who has been insisting that we can pick your call, but you can send your message and we'll receive it here and share with all the viewers. Now, Manayomin, the many youths who are in quote frustrated with the country think that going abroad is the best way to salvage the situation. And because of also the successes that have been recorded by Cameroonians who go abroad, they now have driving fancy cars, they build houses, they buy plots and all of that. It is now we're having some kind of osmotic migration. Now many Cameroonians, especially the young ones, want to fly out for greener pastures, and they risk their lives and do all of that. In your own statement, what could be the push and the pull factor of these? And is there any way this country can be a fertile ground to have youths? Like Doctor has been saying, youths in other countries like Equatorial Guinea, South Africa, and now he's talking of Burkina Faso, would rather want to stay in their country than going out, because maybe the country have made it so fertile, but it's not like in other countries, especially Cameroon. So what could be the remedy on this?
Well, you're very right. Majority of the youths are actually traveling a lot of migration, and I won't say that's the best thing to do, because some of this traveling abroad is a result of peer pressure. Like you actually want to go abroad because you're seeing your friends doing so, and some of them are actually living their fake lives out there. Because no matter how you say, I've seen friends who have gone there, and afterwards they call me and they're telling me they're under the bridge after they have showcased the flamboyant life that they have lived there. They now tell me that it was all fake, and they are regretting their actions. They want to come back to Cameroon. And now for we that we are still here in the country, I won't say the situation of the country is the best, but now is what you make out of it. Because bet you that the Cameroonians are living the life. I see Cameroonians that are doing so well in the country, and so why can't you be that one Cameroonian that is actually excelling in any field that you want to excel? You can be that one too. So it's about mindset. True, the country is not the best. I will not appreciate 100% the country, no, but I will say that despite the challenges we are facing, abroad should not be the ulterior motive that we should just travel and escape. We cannot just be escaping from things. You can't just be doing that, but you can start something for yourself. If Cameroon does not give you the greener pasture you deserve, create your greener pasture
yourself.
Yes, yourself. You can create that. Now, after I left the university, I was volunteering in various institutions, even governmental bodies, but it didn't yield a lot of fruits, I must say. Then I had to do something for myself. I had to, with regards to my vision, with regards to what I want to become, I now had to organize Cameroon Theatre and Arts Festival, which is a theatre festival with regards to my arts, and bringing my people together, thespians together who have the ability to portray art and to elevate youth, to positively impact youth with art. And so the idle ones, I would say some idle ones who are maybe battling with Cameroon situation, battling with life, and are bringing them closer. Find purpose and then do what you love, and then from there maybe you can open your own agency. It starts from small, but the most important thing is you just have to keep moving. Don't stand stagnant because the country is not favoring you. You have to keep moving and find that niche that Cameroon needs, and you will excel in it. I tell you.
Right. I like that. I mean, it sounds a lot motivational. I mean, that's what you do, which of course I want to appreciate it. I hope the youth who are listening are thinking, rethinking their steps and retracing their steps and making some very informed decisions for themselves. Now, let me bring to you, Doctor. We know there are so many youths who are frustrated, but we have others who are making strides for themselves. You want to think about the Silicon Mountain? You want to think about the agricultural field? Matter of fact, the President of the Republic even called some names of youths who are making great strides in the field of agriculture. You want to look at it in the field of good governance. You see, youths are active in good governance, in telling them on civic responsibilities and all of that. In your own appreciation, what are some of these strengths, or what are some of those factors youth can seize as opportunities? Yes, we can go around and talk about the bad side of this country and the unavailability and the infertility in terms of providing that environment for youth to thrive. Yet, youth are changing their challenges into opportunities for growth. So, you as a counselor, when you meet youth who are frustrated and all of that, what do you tell them? How do you inspire hope and inspire their potentials in them to come up for them to change these challenges to opportunities?
Yeah, Mr. Funky, thank you very much for that question. I want to first of all say, before I come back to your question, is that the environment for the youth to excel, those who are striving to excel, they are like you are trying to bring water from the stone. Some survive from the strong rocks to bring out something that they can present and the state can appreciate. But the others are still striving with a strong rock on their hands trying to break it. But now, because if you look at any country that they want to emerge, they first start with government regulations and government policies. Those are the first of all things that give the youth the environment for them to operate. Now, for example, look what happened in the years to years when I was still a kid, I was growing up. There was one guy that big up his own technology that can produce light in the village around them through a small waterfall. What does the government do? That's the type of people that you've been as an engineer, bring other people to gather technology so that we can also have our own waterfall or other kind of thing like that. When we start to look from what youth are doing and supporting that effort to make sure that we empower them to impact, so they can impact the society, it gives a good deal to help the youth to excel. But now, when they are left on their own, there are some people that they strive based on the fact that they are so smart that they can lobby for external funding to do that thing by their own and excel, and the government only appreciate. Sometimes we don't even know, government cannot even tell you how did they even come about all those things. And now you have make most youth now, they become what we do, they have to do fake type of policy, fake type of project, send to the government always send money to further project, but they don't evaluate those projects. If truly, this youth, they really want to excel or make this country to change. So those are the reality. So despite the fact that we'll say that there are youths that are excelling in agriculture, but look at the dynamics of the ground. Look at dynamics. For example, sorry that I'm always going to Burkina Faso, but let me just see, there's a country that there was no grain rice. And Contrary tell that you can grow it here. Plant it, it will grow. I don't have anything rice. We have it in Cameroon here. Even in Chico, that's one youth was showcasing how rice was going to Chico. That is the when government comes in and look for funding and push the youth so that the man can have not just a small of rice, but an elaborate estate of rice. And there are many places you make sure the youth push so that as they bring the youth, We have crisis, food crisis. Rice is so expensive. Want to make local rice? What can we do? They bring all the ideas. You give the resources. They go ahead. They invest. You give them, congratulate them, appreciate them. Sometimes with gift, or sometimes with with a trophy. That's why that's how they are moving. But when you don't, what happens? It's not unfortunate that our fine brains are going out of the country. That's the fault, because other countries are giving the neighboring environment good policy regulations that it is good for them, and they can easily excel in that domain. I quite remember one time I went to Nigeria. I came to Calabar, and I was having some issues to handle with some military man, and I told them that the commissioner here is a Cameroonian. I said, wow. So that is it. It doesn't mean whether the person is not a Cameroonian, but when we want to make people want the country to excel, people would they have to have the carry their passion, their vision, and the same strength that they have to excel with it. Because when you don't have any passion about it, you cannot move it. I used to tell people that that's why I used to ask people about the passion. Like in counseling, I used to encourage them that most NGOs they take in people who have done healing trauma on the field. And they take some people who have done psychology in school. I said, but that's not professional counseling, because it cannot go. One lady was showing me in Kumba the other day. One of the students want to come to the school. I said, I've done healing trauma. I've done this. When I just give example about healing trauma. I said, okay, somebody can be traumatized and slum. So do you know about slumming spirit? You don't know. If you don't know about slumming spirit, you cannot help the person. So now the agency is trying to do what want to help them, so that we can see how we don't just go, because everything you do in life is counseling is involved. Now we see what is happening in the northwest region, what they call the southwest and the northwest. Now people are traumatized. That's why you see people are just committing suicide. People are collapsing every day. People mostly are defunctioning. Now what are you doing? We need to get knowledge. Go and help our parents, help our silly brother, help those who are depressed on the field. But now people who don't have the knowledge, they are coming with their own money. Just go to the. I can't remember UN one time called me in Douala. I mean, when I was in Kumba, and told me that, okay, I want us to make a project for those who are disabled, to see how we can cancel them. And the only thing that I refused was because I was under pressure. I said, no, cancel them under pressure, because I was a professional. But if it was somebody who was just doing counseling in the website, we said no, because they are promising that the 2 million is already on hand, and this one they will run for the money. But actually on the field, they will not give the result. So we pray that we need to empower them. We need to change the status quo of education first. Give them a new orientation. Let the psychology of the society change, so that let them see a light on the tunnel. And I believe that, as they say, youth are the leader of tomorrow. Truly, the dynamics are changing on the ground. And as I'm excelling, I'm going, I know where I'm going. Because you can stand, like this young guy can stand and say, I want to become a minister tomorrow, and sail towards that navigation and reach to become a minister. And if he cannot go to that minister, it means he's frustrated along the way. He cannot they have any strength to continue again, because the policies and the laws is only preventing him to excel to that level. But we should make a country whereby, like in China and even America, where people from local community can be current in the parliament.
All right.
And make their voice heard worldwide. So those are the things that we want. We want to see that these guys are not just calling the parliament to give them, to make them just to put around the parliament, so that they can showcase and to make the international commission that they are bringing the youth and they are working to the youth. But we want to see something which is realistic and sustainable. Ideas, policies that are being realistic, that if we implement the policies, these are the results. Mr. Funky, before I end there, look, we are talking about youth helping their country. Look at our roads. We don't have any engineers. It is the because of the bad policy that we have.
You're only looking at the negative. I want us to let's shift away from the negative. Please just hold on. We are still wrapping up. I want the others to say something before. Okay, right on.
Now, let me give what happened in California music. When that road was bad, what happened? One fine young guy who had a break there brought seawater and put that rapid every year in Munya. It happens, and that was a young youth that want to make his country, to emerge, right? But the same government, when I'm part of the congregation, the people have gone and pay. So how you are preventing the youth not to do what they ought to do in their own country? Because, for example, when you see things are bad, they are the youth to say, okay, these things are bad. Like sometimes it seems on the way they are putting earth on the road. You understand? There is their own way to contribute to the nation, and you must give them the opportunity. You must support them. You must encourage them. You must make sure that what they are doing is right. Go to the point, and when they get it, that is right, and the government is standing with us, they'll do more. They'll do more. That's what we're saying.
Right. All right. Thank you very much. You're really, inspired to talk tonight. Thank you very much, Dr. Obey Christian. Now, Honorable Moteba Derek, now, with you, what advice would you give the youths to be able to shift the mentality from blame game, to now taking up responsibilities and making great strides. I mean, everyone has the potential to do something and something good for themselves. So what is that advice if you were standing in front of a group of youths? Would you tell them about picking up their potentials and making life better for themselves?
Okay, thank you. My advice to the youth, I will start by asking every youth to first of all build up yourself, because we only complain about things not being well done, but most at times most of the youths are not even prepared nor ready. Getting into a career orientation and trying to see on how you build up your career well to suit the job market to an extent is very potential. So I urge all the youths to build up their careers first. Once you build your career, wealth will seek for you. Going further, we all know the country have some rigid laws, or let me say rigid rules, that to an extent they stop the youth from having certain positions or engaging into certain stuffs, even into some developmental projects. To an extent, some of the taxes even scare the youths away. But I still encourage these youths, once you identify what you can best strive in, give in your best and see on how you can go about it to showcase your own self. Always being outstanding will take us the youths somewhere. Again, we have phones, the social media, it's there. But most of the youths, they get on social media, they go to Facebook, they post, they flex, forgetting to know that the good part of social media is hidden. Once you start going to search for opportunities for youths, don't limit yourself only at the level of the country. Look for opportunities worldwide. World Food Organization has good policy, good programs for the youths. Tony Elume Foundation, it's out there helping a lot of youths. African Development Bank, it's out there funding some of the youth programs, youth projects. So all we need to do is to be conscious of how we use the little resources that are around us. We don't have a lot. I know the country is not as we all aim it to be. But let's get to work.
Right. Thank you very much. And your advice, can you also put some advice to the youth, your fellow youths out there?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. My advice to the youth, firstly, I want to advise them to be open-minded. They should not only depend on the state to provide them for everything. It's true that the state organize training programs. I'll also advise them to go for programs, because I've noticed that, because at first I was not somebody that used to go for programs, but I've noticed that the more I go for such programs, the more I learn more, and the more I have the desire to learn more. And also I'll advise them to engage into entrepreneurial activities. They should not only depend on the state, that the state will provide them jobs and give them everything. They can learn a skill, like those in technical education. They can get a skill, like, how can I put it, like cookery, baking skill, anything they can use to raise money for themselves. By the time they start doing the skill, they become used to it, and they become best in it, and thereby they help the country. They can also use the skill to help the country
and help their families
and help themselves too. They should not only be depending on their families. And also they can take their phones and go on social media, advertise their business on social media. They can post and someone sees and likes it. They can also take their phones on social media and do things that will better their lives.
Right.
Than blaming the government and than depending on their parents.
Right. Thank you very much, Honorable Kongo.
Thank you, sir.
For your your inputs there. Let's have some comments. This one from Facebook, from Equine Lovett, says, "Proud of you, Madam Elmine, spoken word empress, making the nation proud." All right, that's somebody who is hearing you there. This other one says, "The philosopher hold that a small mistake at the beginning becomes a big mistake at the end. In line with that, I think it is a two-way track. Both the government and the youth have essential roles to play towards creating a new future. In a technocratic society, youths can focus on developing skills that complement technological advancement through the following ways: acquire basic coding skills, data analysis and digital marketing knowledge, critical thinking, problem solving and analytical skills to navigate complex technological landscape, foster creativity, innovation and entrepreneurship to develop unique solutions, because most often the youth are lazy to study and be creative, but we pay attention on empirical things. Okay. Meanwhile, on the part of the state, she is to create favorable environment and opportunities for the young people to exhibit their skills and talents. She is to pay special attention on the young people, because any society with unstable youth who looks forward to a sterile society. It's coming from Jordan J, a seminarian on pastoral year at the St. Paul's College, Bojongo. Thank you very much, Brother Jordan Miliki, for that text message. And this other one, he says, "Good evening to you, DMR TV. Loving the program." Yeah, there's some information here that okay, information directed to you is that you should defend your title. Somebody is saying that you should defend your title. All right. Thank you very much. The person didn't send the name, but want to thank you for sending your message. We're rounding up. Madam Mita, what special message do you have for the youths out there to pick up the ashes if they've been so frustrated and depressed? How can they turn the challenges into opportunities for growth?
Yes, there's a statement that says, when there is life, there is hope. And so we are hopeful that Cameroon is going to turn around and there's going to be positive changes to help the youth. So we are appealing to the government to bring out various platforms or various ways in which it can better our youths, can better the future for our youths precisely. And I will tell you, the youths, that as rightly as the commenter said, that you should also do something for yourself, gain a skill. You can do so much more. So you go out there, gain a skill, and I bet you there are many organizations, even governmental bodies, that are willing to cooperate or collaborate with you to see that your dreams are attained, because it did so for me. So why won't it happen for you? So if you have a project, learn how to pen it down, because some Cameroonians do not like to pen things down. But the right thing is, if you have a project, you have to pen it down in the precise way, which is very good and readable to the person you're giving it to, let it be presentable. And then you go out there and work it out. Go to NGOs, go to governmental bodies, go to institutions, go to companies, and present this project to them. And I bet you one or two will call you back and say, okay, I've seen this, that you're a youth who is striving for excellence, and I want to support you. I want to see that you pull through. And that is how development begins to happen. And for community leaders or community members, let us give room for more active listening to our youths. call them together, or when they come to you, be active in listening and communicating rightly to them. And I bet you that an advice you can give them will stir them up to be better, for a better future, for a better Cameroon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Doctor, you already exhausted your time. So you have to be very brief.
For the youth, I want to encourage the youth because, despite the fact that we face the situation in our country today like this, we must keep on striving. And look, in Nigeria, you have what we call youth, they call it what? Youth service, where youth can go there for voluntary service. And in Cameroon, youth does not really take that voluntary service as part of the way to have experience,
because it's politicized.
Yes, politicized. But it is not. It's politicized in the sense that if you did look at it that way, because the organization, like for us, we are open to people who can of volunteer services. Because I used to tell people that, like I was talking to one guy here, I said, okay, you are doing engineering, you are doing what you are doing. If you have to take your holidays,
Doctor, we are really out of time.
Yes,
please,
sorry.
we are really out of time.
If we can decide to do volunteer services, I mean, it will shape you, it will guide you and give you more experience. Sometimes that is where you can come out with the skills and the potential that you have, and you excel. So don't do the lie. Despite the fact that the country is like this, the saying that says that when things are tough people keep on going. So I want to keep the youth that you should be tough and keep up, and the way to be tough is one of the way to critical thinking. You are precise, you have precision in your vision, and you have a goal setting of goals and vision to attain. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. B. Christian. Now we have this other text message. Good day and congratulations to you on this informative program. I'd like to contribute to the discussion by saying that more often than not, the challenges faced by young people in this country are not solely attributed to the government or its policies per se. In fact, there are numerous young individuals in this country who are excelling in various fields such as agriculture, business, and politics. However, the issue lies in the fact that many young people and even some councillors hold the misconception that it's the government or it's the government's responsibility to provide employment for everyone. This is an unrealistic expectation, and it is not feasible for any government in the world to guarantee employment for all its citizens. As a councillor, I believe it's essential to offer guidance and support to young people, empowering them to take ownership of their lives and future. Rather than relying solely on the government for employment, we should be encouraging young people to explore alternative paths such as entrepreneurship, vocational training, and education. By adopting a more proactive and solution-focused approach, we can inspire a brighter future for our young people. It says, I am Shifu. Thank you very much, Mr. Shifu, for your message. Ishmael Shifu, for your message. We are happy for your contribution, and definitely do make yourself available so that you can come and share your own thought when we have programs like this. Thank you very much. Well, gentlemen, thank you for the program. We've had some quality time here. Just to tell you, dear viewers, that on our program tonight, we had with us Dr. B. Christian. He is a counselor and a development coach, and we're very excited that he joined us today. We also had with us Madame Elmineta. She is a spoken word artist, and also she is a community builder. We also had on a panel tonight, we had Honorable Derek Moteba. Moteba Derek. He is a junior parliamentarian from Lebi Alem in the southwest region. He represented Lebi Alem division in the just ended junior parliamentary session that took place in Yaoundé. And we have with us also Madame Congo, Honorable Congo, Rameline. Yes, Congo Rameline. She too represented Manu division in the parliament. Well, we want to thank you, those who participated in the program tonight with your contributions. Thank you very much. My name is Yannick Fonke for presentation, and I also want to extend special thanks to Brother Ambrose Tassan, who mounted the broadcasting and transmission together with the other trainees who made this program a success. We'll be together again tomorrow on Mountain Acres. Good night.